Hey everybody, it's Kakarot. Hope you're doing well. I just wanted to give a quick end of season update. The short story is that I didn't reach Glad, I didn't reach Legend, in fact, I didn't even get Elite, but I'm happy overall with how the season ended, and I'm really looking forward to season 4. Let's talk about the numbers real quick. I ended the season in threes at 2,300 after about 500 games. I ended the season in shuffle at about 2,175 after also about 500 rounds, meaning roughly 80 something lobbies. Um, Notably, that 2,175 was rank 86 for NA Ferals. Compare that to season 2 when I finished at 2450 and was rank 91 for NA Ferals. So I went down about 300 CR and up 5 rankings, which I think says a lot about the state of Feral. It says a lot about the state of Shuffle. It says a lot about the state of MMR. But, you know, that's really not the point of this video, I think. Um, I do I am starting to view Feral as not really a solo shuffle spec, but I probably will continue to play solo shuffle, really just to practice the things that I need to practice. I've identified juking, awareness, and specifically with relation to kicking, as really the two things that I need to get a lot better at. And I think that I can use solo shuffle to do those things, win or lose. And really, it truly is win or lose because I just don't care about the solo shuffle rewards. I mean, they're just not that good. And really, that's kind of the failing, because I think that solo shuffle can be, as it was for me, can be such a great way to introduce new players to the game, to introduce new players to WoW PvP. You have this no judgment zone outside of the toxic people typing at you, but you can very quickly report and ignore them. Um, you have a no judgment zone where you can make mistakes, where you can learn how other specs work and how other specs work with you, how other specs work against you. You can learn all there is, everything that's going on in this very, very complicated game mode, um, in a easier way than I think, and less intimidating way than you might if you just tried to queue up threes. Um, and really, like, that's how I see solo shuffle, as far as I have used it in season 1. Feral was a great solo shuffle spec. It just did massive AoE damage with a fairly simple rotation, and as far as Feral goes, um, and didn't have the defensive problems that it does now. uh, and really, as long as you got your stuns and your kicks right, you were totally fine, and could climb. I think I peaked at around 2,800 in season 1. Uh, you know, and then season 2 taught me how to play with Cyclone, right? For better or worse, taught me how to play a little bit like a caster, um, and and I did all right there, peaked around 2,600. And now season 3 taught me is teach was teaching me, and season 4 will continue that lesson, teaching me how to play like a very flimsy caster, that has to be in the middle of the fray. So, I think that it will continue to be an interesting learning arc. Um, but I probably will not play solo shuffle very seriously as I did in seasons 1 and 2, because I feel like I've made the switch to threes. One of the biggest things that I take away from these numbers is just that I played a lot less in season 3 than I did in previous seasons. My threes numbers were up. I think in season 2 I might have had close to 300 games, and in season 3 I had 500 games. But that's still really not a lot, as far as I know. Really not a lot for someone pushing Glad. A lot of people that I see are playing, upwards of 800 games, and that's really just on one character. Who knows if you start adding alts into the mix? You know, season two, my solo shuffle rounds were roughly 2,000, or about 340 something lobbies, and season three, I played a quarter of that. Um, this is due to a few things. Real life stuff came up. My work got really busy at the end of the year, into the new year, and uh, honestly, that coincided nicely with Demon Hunters being what I viewed as incredibly overpowered for far, far too long. It was really disheartening to see a spec that I typically did well into suddenly become immortal, do infinite damage that we later learned was due partially to a bug, and have kind of every tool that they needed, and very little outplayability, in my opinion. Um, but they've been complained about enough. It's not something that's not what this video is about. But it did coincide nicely, and I took probably the first 2.5 months of the season off, just hoping and keeping tabs in the game, hoping for um, a tuning pass that really didn't come until what, 6 weeks ago, which now I think has made the game fairly balanced. DH is not nearly as oppressive as it was. I think there's still tuning that can be done, and I'm frankly a little bit surprised that we're not just getting little tweaks here and there. Because I really think that that would be good for the health of the game. But that said, I do think that the state of PvP is fairly balanced right now. Um, and with that, enough complaining, right? Because the bigger takeaway from my numbers this season is that I got better. I don't have the CR to show for it in Shuffle. I do have the ranking to show for it in Shuffle, which is hilarious. I do have the CR to show for it in threes, and I'm really happy with 2300. I would have loved to have pushed Elite. I felt like the season was a few more weeks, if the season lasted a few more weeks, then I probably could have pushed Elite, and I could have maybe gotten my Gladwins in. Um, but so it goes. I didn't do that. That didn't happen. But I did get better, and I gained a better understanding of how comps like Jungle play, how comps like Dev Pharaoh play, how comps especially like FMP play, and I'm really looking forward to playing all of that a lot more this season. And I'm really excited that I have a friends list full of people to play it with, and I'm always adding to that. So, anyway, that's the update. I hope you enjoyed, and I will continue putting out updates and putting out. I think I'm going to focus on self VOD reviews. Hopefully, they are as educational for some of you out there as they are for me, and I'll see you in the next video.